Life doesn't give you what you look at, it gives you what you look through. Two people can face the same day. One sees a problem, the other sees potential. The only difference between them is attitude. It's not what happens to us that shapes our lives. It's how we meet what happens. The weather, the economy, the circumstances may all be the same, but the outcome depends on the one thing we control completely: how we think about them. Attitude is quiet but powerful. It determines how you see, how you act, and ultimately, what you attract. It is the lens through which all of life passes, and depending on how clear or clouded that lens is, the same world can either discourage you or inspire you. You can give two people the same tools, the same opportunity, even the same setback. One will find a way forward, the other will find a reason to stop. The difference isn't in their resources, it's in their response. That response, that inner stance toward life, is what we call attitude. It's easy to forget that success begins long before the results appear. It starts in the mind, in quiet thoughts that no one else hears. Attitude is the seed of that beginning. It's the first cause of achievement, and often the last defense against failure. You can't always choose your situation, but you can always choose how you interpret it. And that single choice changes everything. Because your mind is not a mirror of the world, it's a filter for it. What you dwell on expands. What you expect, you move toward. What you believe yourself to be capable of, you begin to act upon. A poor attitude turns small challenges into impossible mountains. A positive, disciplined one turns even obstacles into opportunities for growth. The difference is subtle in the moment, but enormous over time. Because life doesn't respond to our complaints, it responds to our character. Your attitude is your constant companion. It travels with you everywhere, to work, to your relationships, to your ambitions. It colors every conversation, every decision, every result. It either lifts or limits everything you touch. The remarkable thing is this: it costs nothing to change it, yet it changes everything when you do. Many wait for life to improve before improving their outlook, but that's not how it works. The mind must shift first. The world follows after. Just as a seed must grow before the harvest appears, attitude must be set before success can begin. If you start each day expecting problems, you'll find them. If you start expecting progress, you'll find that too. Life bends toward your mental posture, just as a plant bends toward light. So ask yourself, what light are you growing toward? Because the moment you decide to take charge of your attitude, you stop being a victim of circumstance and become a creator of possibility. You stop waiting for good days and start building them. Your attitude is the architect of your future. It's the quiet force shaping every outcome you'll ever experience. And when you learn to master it, to train it, to protect it, to align it with purpose, you begin to discover something powerful. Success isn't something you chase. It's something you grow into, from the inside out. That's the real foundation of achievement. Not luck, not talent, not timing, but the steady, unseen power of a winning attitude. Why attitude is the starting point of all achievement. Every great result begins with a decision, not of action, but of attitude. Because before a person does anything worthwhile, they must first believe it's worth doing. You can have every tool, every skill, every opportunity in front of you, but if your attitude is uncertain, nothing will move. The mind must tilt toward success before the body ever follows. Attitude is the spark that ignites every form of progress. It's invisible, yet everything visible depends on it. A man with the right attitude can begin with nothing and still find a way. A man with the wrong one can begin with everything and lose it all. It's not what you have that determines where you go. It's how you see what you have. Attitude is the inner weather of the mind. You can't always control the storm outside, but you can decide whether you walk through it complaining or learning. Every achievement you admire, every success story that ever inspired you, began with someone who refused to see defeat as final. They didn't have guarantees, they had attitude. And that attitude became their compass. It kept them moving when logic said stop, when the odds said impossible, when the voices around them said quit. Attitude gives direction to energy. It decides whether you spend your strength building something or breaking yourself over it. Think of it this way. The mind is like a lens. If it's clouded with doubt, resentment, or fear, everything you look at becomes distorted. But clean that lens. Fill it with optimism, discipline, and gratitude. And suddenly, the same world looks full of opportunity. That's not imagination. That's perception. And perception, guided by attitude, becomes your reality. The starting point of all success is not knowledge, not money, not even luck. It's the decision to think and act as though success were possible. That decision is what gives birth to every plan, every risk, every dream, because belief is the soil in which all achievement grows, and attitude is the climate that keeps it alive. When you wake up each day, your attitude is either your servant or your saboteur. It's the first voice you hear before you speak a word to the world. It decides whether you approach the day as a gift or as a burden. If you expect little, you'll notice little. If you expect growth, you'll find the lessons that lead to it. You can't change every circumstance, but you can change your stance. And when that inner stance shifts, life responds in kind. Doors open, ideas come, energy returns. So before you ask, what should I do? Ask, how should I think? Because action without the right attitude is like planting seeds in winter. No matter how hard you work, the soil won't give back. But once your attitude aligns with faith, purpose, and persistence, you stop pushing through life and start working with it. Achievement begins long before the reward appears. It begins the moment you decide to see every challenge as a classroom, every day as a new opportunity, and yourself as capable of meeting both. That's where all success begins, not in the world around you, but in the attitude within you. How your thoughts create invisible momentum toward success. Every great change begins quietly, in thought. Before anything is built, it's imagined. Before any success appears, it's believed in. That's the quiet order of life. Thought first, result second. Our thoughts are not harmless. They are builders. They lay the blueprint of what our days will become. Every idea, every emotion, every action begins as a small movement of the mind. What you think about consistently is what you're slowly moving toward, whether you realize it or not, because thought is direction, and direction is destiny. We often underestimate the quiet power of what happens inside us. We treat thoughts as passing clouds, here for a moment, gone the next. But thoughts repeated long enough begin to harden into beliefs. Beliefs become habits. Habits form character, and character over time shapes the life we live. That is the invisible momentum of success or failure. A person who constantly feeds on worry begins to attract situations that justify it. Another who trains the mind toward gratitude and progress begins to notice opportunities that were invisible before. It's not magic, it's focus. The mind always finds what it's looking for. You can test this yourself. Think often about growth, and you'll start seeing lessons in every challenge. Think constantly about problems, and problems will seem to multiply. The external world mirrors the internal attitude. That's why two people can stand in the same field. One sees weeds, the other sees potential for harvest. The difference isn't the field, it's the focus. The moment you change the way you think, the world begins to rearrange itself to meet that new pattern. It's as if life listens to your mental posture and responds in kind. When you fill your thoughts with purpose, faith, and gratitude, you create a quiet current that pulls you forward even when you feel tired. You stop being carried by circumstance and start being carried by intention. The key is consistency. A single positive thought won't change much, just as one drop of water doesn't form a river. But let that stream of thought flow daily, and soon it carves valleys of possibility through the mountains of difficulty. Discipline of thought is the discipline of direction. The person who can guide their mind can guide their life. Now, this isn't wishful thinking. Positive thoughts alone don't replace work. They empower it. They give strength to effort, patience to process, and faith to struggle. They keep you moving when the results haven't yet appeared. That's how success begins invisibly, through persistence in thinking long before persistence in doing. Every thought you allow to live in your mind plants something, and nature, being perfect, always brings a harvest. It never fails. The only question is, what kind of crop are you planting each day? If you want to change your results, change your thinking. If you want a better harvest, sow better seeds. Because your attitude isn't just an outlook, it's a magnet. It draws people, ideas, and circumstances into your life that match the way you think. So guard your thoughts. Feed them with purpose, because that's where momentum begins, not in motion, but in meaning. And once that momentum starts, it doesn't stop easily. It keeps growing, guiding you, shaping you, until one day you realize the success you once imagined has quietly become the life you're living. The difference between reacting and responding to life. There's a quiet difference between those who simply react to life and those who respond to it. Both face the same world, but one is controlled by it, while the other quietly controls themselves within it. Reaction is immediate. It's emotional. It's the mind's first impulse to external pressure. It says, I must do something now. Response is deliberate. It's thoughtful. It says, I will decide what this means before I decide what to do. Reaction belongs to circumstance. Response belongs to choice. When we live by reaction, we surrender our peace to everything outside us, the weather, the words of others, the moods of the day. We give our power away, one small irritation at a time, and it happens quietly. A small frustration here, a quick temper there, until life begins to feel like a series of things happening to us, rather than through us. But when you respond, everything changes, because responding is the act of taking your attitude off autopilot. It's pausing long enough to choose meaning before movement. That small pause, that breath between what happens and how you act, is where wisdom lives. Every successful person you admire, every calm and centered leader you've met, has learned this discipline. They don't let every wind shake their branches. They choose their weather from within. When you react, you repeat the world. When you respond, you reshape it. Reaction is rooted in emotion. Response is rooted in understanding. The first drains you. The second develops you. This doesn't mean becoming cold or detached. It means learning to master your emotional energy instead of being mastered by it. It means seeing the situation clearly before letting it shape your state of mind. Most arguments, regrets, and wasted energy in life come from reacting too quickly, from acting before thinking, from letting emotion outrun reason. You've seen it in yourself and others. A moment of anger that lasts a second but costs a week of peace. Response doesn't remove emotion. It refines it. It gives your feelings direction instead of letting them dictate your direction. You begin to see challenges not as personal attacks, but as tests of character. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, how can I grow through this? That question alone can change your entire life. Reaction is what keeps people stuck in the same patterns, repeating the same mistakes because they never pause long enough to learn from them. Response breaks the pattern. It replaces impulsiveness with insight. Every moment of irritation, disappointment, or failure offers that same choice, to react or to respond. The first strengthens emotion, the second strengthens character. When you practice responding instead of reacting, your attitude becomes your anchor. You stop being tossed around by what happens and start using what happens to refine who you are, and that's where real success begins, in mastering yourself before you try to master circumstances. Because attitude isn't just how you see life, it's how you steer it, and once you learn to respond, calmly, intentionally, and with clarity, life begins to follow your lead instead of the other way around. Why gratitude and discipline are the roots of long-term growth. Gratitude and discipline, two simple words that together build the foundation of every enduring success. One gives your attitude light, the other gives it strength. Gratitude is what keeps the mind from turning bitter. Discipline is what keeps the heart from turning soft. Gratitude is the art of seeing clearly, noticing what's working, what's growing, what's good. Discipline is the act of choosing what's right, even when it's hard, and between them, they create a balance. Warmth with structure, optimism with effort. Without gratitude, effort feels heavy. Without discipline, gratitude turns into comfort. Together they form the quiet power that makes success not just possible, but sustainable. Gratitude shifts your attention from what's missing to what's available. It reminds you that progress is a privilege, not a punishment. It allows you to face challenges without resentment, because you begin to see how each obstacle carries a hidden opportunity for growth. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring hardship. It means refusing to let hardship blind you to what remains. It's the ability to say, I may not have everything I want, but I have enough to begin. And that attitude alone changes how you approach every goal. Because when you work from appreciation instead of frustration, life responds with cooperation instead of resistance. Then comes discipline, the twin partner of gratitude. Discipline is simply remembering what you said you'd do, long after the feeling in which you said it has passed. It's keeping your word to yourself when no one is watching. Success doesn't come from occasional inspiration. It comes from consistent follow-through. And that consistency is the child of discipline. Discipline is the bridge between intention and achievement. It's what allows your good attitude to produce results, because enthusiasm may start the journey, but only discipline keeps it alive when enthusiasm fades. Think of gratitude as fuel and discipline as direction. One gives you energy, the other ensures that energy isn't wasted. Together they build something called maturity, the kind of inner steadiness that turns wishful thinkers into doers and doers into masters. Gratitude without discipline becomes complacency. Discipline without gratitude becomes resentment. But when the two work together, they turn ordinary days into meaningful progress. The grateful person doesn't take their blessings for granted, and the disciplined person doesn't take their responsibilities lightly. That combination creates momentum that cannot be faked or stopped. If you want your attitude to become a lifelong advantage, practice both. Each morning, start with gratitude. Name something good, however small. And each day, finish with discipline. Do one thing you said you would, no matter how you feel. Over time, those two habits change the texture of your life. They give your mind strength, your heart peace, and your work purpose. Gratitude makes you kind. Discipline makes you capable. Together, they make you unstoppable. Because growth isn't about doing everything right. It's about staying thankful enough to continue and disciplined enough to finish. And that's what separates those who wish for success from those who quietly build it, one grateful, disciplined day at a time. Principles to design a winning mindset. We become what we think about. Simple words, but they contain the seed of every success, every failure, every transformation that ever was. That single idea is the foundation of a winning mindset. That attitude, thought, and direction are not separate. They are one. You cannot hold a negative picture of yourself and expect a positive life. You cannot think aimlessly and move purposefully. The outer world follows the pattern of the inner one, always. So if your results are scattered, begin with your thinking. If your days feel directionless, begin with your attitude, because you are not a passenger in life, you are its designer. The mind is fertile soil. It will return whatever you plant, no exceptions. If you plant seeds of faith, purpose, and service, you'll grow a life that reflects them. If you allow weeds of fear, anger, or resentment to take root, they'll grow just as quickly. That's why guarding the garden of your mind is not a luxury, it's a responsibility. To design a winning mindset, you must decide what will live in your thoughts. And that decision must be made daily, just as a farmer tends to his fields each morning. You can't simply hope for success. You must prepare for it mentally. You must begin each day with a clear vision of who you intend to become, not just what you hope to get. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. That means success isn't a place, it's a direction. It's movement toward something you believe in, guided by a purpose that lifts you higher, and attitude is what keeps you on that path when progress feels slow. A winning mindset doesn't deny problems. It interprets them differently. It sees obstacles as signals, not barriers. It looks for lessons, not losses. It asks, "What can this teach me?" instead of "Why me?" That's not positive thinking. That's intelligent thinking. It's the mindset of ownership. You stop blaming luck, time, or others. You start focusing on what can be done right now by you. And that shift from reaction to responsibility is the moment you take control of your life. It's not easy, but it's simple. Think better, act better, live better, in that exact order. Designing a winning mindset means aligning your thoughts with timeless principles. Service. Ask, how can I contribute? Before, what can I gain? Integrity. Do what's right, even when it's quiet. Persistence. Keep going long after the emotion of motivation fades. Purpose. Know where your effort is leading before you double it. These are not slogans. They're structures. They hold the weight of your success. Attitude is the reflection of what you think most often. Change your dominant thoughts, and you change the entire direction of your life. So begin there. Choose your thoughts as carefully as you choose your words. Replace complaint with gratitude, doubt with curiosity, and fear with faith. You'll find your attitude changing, and soon after, so will your results. A winning mindset isn't born, it's built. It's constructed through daily awareness, steady thought, and quiet correction. And over time, it becomes your greatest advantage, the inner architecture of success. Because when you think with purpose, act with integrity, and serve with gratitude, success stops being something you chase and starts becoming the person you are. So everything you want to build in life, every dream, every success, every moment of peace, begins with one thing: attitude. It's the invisible author behind your actions, the silent painter of every day you live. It shapes your choices before you make them, your words before you speak them, and your future long before you arrive there. The remarkable thing is, attitude costs nothing, yet it changes everything. When you decide to think clearly, to look for the lesson instead of the limitation, to respond with faith instead of frustration, life begins to respond differently to you, not because the world changes, but because you do. That's where success truly begins. Not in luck, not in circumstance, but in the quiet decision to master your own perspective. Because attitude is the difference between a day wasted and a day well lived, between the person who stops and the one who keeps going, between a life that happens to you and a life that happens through you. So take charge of it, protect it, shape it, think well, speak well, act well, and soon you'll discover something profound. Success isn't a place you reach, it's a way you think. It begins in your mind, flows through your actions, and returns to you multiplied. Because life doesn't give you what you look at, it gives you what you look through. And once your attitude is right, everything else will follow.